hey guys, Axe won Summit!
Right before this, I asked Rishi if he had an intro. I would have been so disappointed if he said
Axe
no.
won Summit, dude!
He won Summit. Axe won Summit,
I can't believe Axe won Summit.
Oh my god, can we talk about,
God.
wait, before we even get to any Melee stuff, can we talk about how Chillin now tries to, like, it's a good thing, but every time he's casting top 8 of a major, the thing he says when someone wins is, and Axe wins Smash Summit 8!
Yeah.
Because he had, like, one really good moment where he synced up, and Vish tries to do it too.
Yeah.
Because of Zain wins Shine as a thing.
Yeah.
So it was really funny because
I heard Vish do it.
at
yeah.
Summit, Toph started going like, oh my god, he's doing it! Axe is gonna win! Axe wins Summit! And then Chill was like, and Axe wins Smash! And it was really funny.
Dude, Axe won Summit.
Axe won fucking Summit, dude!
I can't believe it.
Oh my god.
And the thing is, like, he's looked better and better throughout the year.
I know.
And for him to actually follow through on that is crazy.
I was thinking about this the other day of like, maybe because a lot of the time when Mango will have one tournament that he does well
it's like he's heating up.
Right, and so I was thinking about that, and like, is that just because we're all Mango lovers? And I think it's partially that. It's also partially because Mango will legitimately, like, I don't remember what tournament it was, but there was a tournament about a year ago where he beat Hbox in a fashion that was like, oh my god, Mango like seems like he figured out that like he's playing a really good mix of like offensive, defensive. Like, wow, this is like a big jump in the matchup.
Yeah,
Hbox was playing well and he still beat him. And he just didn't, like, sometimes he will make adaptations and then shift them up. You know, Mango's very much a like choose a play style for a tournament.
Yeah, we get very drastic shifts with Mango.
Yeah, exactly. But Axe, it's been different because he has just been improving steadily.
Yeah, we don't really see that trend with anyone these days.
Right.
Right? Like, the only other person who's had anything close to that is Zain.
Zain, especially in the Puff matchup,
yeah,
right?
Even Zain, it was like over the course of a couple of years, really. And with Axe, like, he's been at the top 10 level for a long time. But really, if you look at it from Genesis to till now, there's like a very distinct...
Plup also had sort of a similar thing going for a little bit.
Like leading up to his Genesis win?
Yeah, because like DreamHack Atlanta and
Big House, he beat Armada.
Yeah,
exactly. I guess you could say that too.
Yeah, he had it in a sort of similar way.
Yeah.
But definitely it's been like, I think we also notice it because with Pickachu, it's very evident when Axe is doing something
come on,
new,
it's Pikachu.
Right, yeah.
Like, nothing, this is unprecedented.
Yeah.
Anything of this caliber in Melee.
Yeah, absolutely.
This far into the meta, hello?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Like, anyway...
I mean, we say unprecedented with the caveat that something pretty close to it happened 2 weeks
a couple weeks ago,
you know?
yeah. Two unprecedented things. This is why we always say anyone who thinks that Melee's meta is stale is not paying attention to Melee.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Melee is just Foxes. Literally, like, what's the last tournament Fox won at this point?
Evo?
Yeah, Evo, a year ago, right?
Like,
and before that, at this point, when you ask what tournament has Fox, what's the last tournament Fox won, you're asking when did Leffen win?
Yeah.
Because he's the only Fox right now.
Yeah, or like when did
Mango's Fox win?
Yeah, which hasn't happened.
No.
Or Plups Fox, which was...
And even Plups Fox is always with his Sheik.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Well, and Mango's Fox these days is never solo. It hasn't been solo in like 3 years.
Yeah, so. Not in a long time.
Yeah.
And even then, it was like occasionally Marth or something.
Yeah, yeah.
It was rarely ever actually solo.
Yeah,
Mango
no,
Fox.
it is unprecedented. It's so funny. Solo Pikachu won a major before solo Sheik. And solo Captain Falcon
that's what people have
solo
been,
Sheik.
Yeah, that's what people have been talking about. I meant to make this tweet yesterday. We don't have to discuss it now, but maybe maybe we will. Okay, let me just say what it is. Sorry, my brain's everywhere because Axe won Summit.
Yeah, Axe won Summit, guys.
I was gonna ask like what are the qualities of a character that can lead them to winning a major?
Yeah, exactly.
And some of those questions are like, what are your character's walls? Like, what do you have to avoid in order to to win a major.
But that's what's such an insane thing about this victory in particular is that, I mean, Axe didn't have to play Plup, right?
Yeah.
Who has typically been really hard for him.
Yeah.
But he's shown that Sheik isn't a wall for him.
That's
I mean, he's amazing at that matchup. And even, I want to challenge, because people are pointing out that Axe didn't have to play Hungrybox,
Yeah.
which is very true, because that's been the other person who he's never beaten Hungrybox.
Yeah.
But, like, do you really doubt that Axe could beat Hungrybox at this point? After the Genesis showing? Like, I don't at all.
He was inches away.
I don't doubt it at all.
And he looks better now than he did at Genesis.
Especially when you consider that Leffen was Axe's absolute demon a year ago, right? And then he had that amazing 10-game grand finals with him
Flatiron.
At Flatiron,
Yeah.
right? And
amazing sets.
And then since then, I mean, he's won 2 of their last 3 sets, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, it begs the question: how bad is your character's worst matchup?
Right.
And then how
common is it?
Yeah, how common is it?
And not only that, I mean, how common is it at a specific high level, right?
Yeah.
Because we're saying this in, like, you're saying we're not really talking about this in a just pure character skill way.
Yeah.
Because you have to talk about who the top players are and where they are in bracket.
Yeah, for sure.
There's no point in talking about it with the characters.
Yeah,
like,
Axe
just
isn't
in a
losing
void.
to your Joe Schmo Jigglypuff.
Right, yeah,
right?
never, yeah.
Like, I would still definitely give Hbox the favor over Axe, like, no doubt. But if Axe were to win, like, that's not the craziest thing to happen in a while.
But I mean, so that's why you have to now think, like, is Pikachu better than Samus at winning tournaments?
Yeah, so I was trying to ask myself this question after in my head I was coming up with these criteria.
Right.
Like, what is Samus's worst matchup? What is Sheik's worst matchup?
Right.
And how bad are those matchups? So, what is the answer for Samus? Falcon?
A Falcon, and I think that Sheik is also one you have to talk about in terms of, like, if we're talking about at the top level.
Is it Ices?
Huh?
Like Sheik's worst matchup?
No, I'm saying Sheik is a really big problem for Samus, too.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Falcon is really hard, especially in today's meta where you're going to run into Wizzrobe or S2J most likely.
Yeah.
And we've seen that stop runs from Duck specifically a lot of the time.
Yep.
But Sheik is also one where if you run into Plup, but not just Plup, if you run into Swedish, if you run into if Mewtwo King were still there.
Right.
But also, like, mid-level Sheiks have shown they can do very well against the top-level Samuses.
Well, yeah, Duck has also he's taken sets off Swedish.
That's true.
And he's looked a lot better versus Falcon lately.
Absolutely.
And I don't think we've seen Duck play in a little while, but if I'm remembering correctly, was it Full Bloom or something else? Or maybe GOML where he played S2J?
Yeah, and he went to
Game 5, right?
Yeah. I think, no, it wasn't GOML because GOML just happened.
Okay.
But it was
something, right?
Recent. Yeah, Full Bloom.
Probably
maybe.
Full Bloom if that's what I'm thinking of.
Maybe.
And then, and Duck has told me in the past, I don't know if it's still the case, but that Hugo does some things against Falcon better than Duck does.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's probably a case to say that Duck's a stronger player than Hugo right now.
Yeah, I would say so. Although it's hard since we haven't seen Duck in a while,
yeah.
but yes.
But, if Hugo were to make that jump, like, maybe he'd be handling the Falcons a little better. But still, like, how much worse is Sheik Samus or Falcon Samus than Puff Pikachu or Peach Pikachu?
Right, but the thing with Puff Pikachu is at this top, like, it's just so impossible to talk about it in terms of character only.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather, instead of asking, can Samus do it, ask, could Plup win a major solo Samus? Like, that is a way more relevant question to ask.
For sure.
And I think the answer is, for that, it almost looks harder than Pikachu, is the weird thing. That's what makes it so weird. Because we typically think of Pikachu as a worse character than Samus, but Pikachu's really, really tough matchups, right? We just talked, it's Puff,
and
Peach and Sheik, right?
Sheik.
And Axe has shown that all of those are not, like, obviously Puff with Hbox it's hard, but I don't feel like any of those would stand in the way of winning a major. But it feels like there's so many Sheiks and Falcons in the field.
And he overcame them.
So hard for Samus to win right now. That's the thing.
Yeah. It's like below a certain threshold, like, none of them matter. It's just, like, you're basically looking at the top 20 when you're asking if someone can win a major, right?
Well, but then that's the thing. I think one of the reasons why you're looking at the top 20, but I mean, it's just so hard because it's like Axe's skill is such that he doesn't get upset by mid-level
Yeah, exactly.
because they don't. The ones who exist at a skill level able to upset him. Like, but even then, like, I can't ever see Axe getting upset by Toussaint. You know,
That's what I was thinking of. I'm like, could he lose to Toussaint?
But I could totally see Plup losing to Captain Face Roll
As Samus. Yeah.
Like that's a very realistic scenario.
So what about Yoshi? Can Yoshi win a major?
Yes.
Yeah, has Amsa given us any reason to think no?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, no,
absolutely not. Is Leffen the only person he hasn't beaten? He's not.
He hasn't beaten iBDW.
That's a good point. But
he did beat Wizzy once, right?
Yeah, he beat Wizzy.
Was that at Summit? No.
No, it was
Genesis?
It was Genesis.
Last,
yes.
like Genesis 5.
Yeah, because Hugo
right?
beat him for top 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not the Genesis that just happened, but the one before that.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. So, I mean, and Amsa has seemingly proven that I think that you could do it.
So here's another question. What's stopping Solo Sheik from winning a major?
Puff?
None of them can beat Hbox?
What's stopping Solo Sheik from winning a major is that none of the Sheiks with major winning potential want to play Sheik against Puff. I think Sheik can beat Puff.
Okay.
I think Plup looked pretty. It was a 3-0 against Hbox, but it was okay. I think he's looked good against Hbox before. He's beaten Hbox in a best-of-3 set, granted, but
it didn't look that okay to me.
Before
His
against
Hbox, yeah.
It was last stock, wasn't it?
I don't think so. I think they were all 2 stocks.
Were they?
It just felt to me like he was winning like 30% or 40% of what he needed to, and Hbox was okay with that.
Well, counterpoint, Swedish is amazing at that matchup.
Okay. I haven't seen it in a while.
I think Sheik can beat Puff. I think Sheik
Didn't Swedish lose to Snowy like a month ago?
Maybe. It doesn't change the fact. Fiction's still good at the Ice Climbers matchup.
Yeah.
Right?
Fair.
Yeah. Swedish is amazing at that matchup.
Okay.
I still think that Sheik can beat Puff. I don't think it's an insurmountable obstacle by any means.
I don't think so either.
And I think that Plup, doesn't practice Sheik against Puffs. But if he did, he could probably be a lot better. He has a good reason not to. Like, he wants to play Fox. I think the reason he probably didn't play it this time is because his Foxes looked really shaky recently.
So there are many different types of players, right? So some of them are field-based players, and some of them are more analytical players, right? Sure. Plup is not an analytical player.
No, not deep down.
More of like a speed, feels out the game.
I always love talking about that because since him and M2K always play so often and they both have a 3-character roster.
Yeah.
But M2K actually does sometimes counterpick based on field, but it's not his MO, right?
Yeah, his MO is things he broke down analytically years ago.
Yeah.
And he's still using.
Yeah, whereas Plup very much is just like, I'm going Samus this tournament.
Yeah.
Leffen's messing me up.
Even in the way he plays, like matchups he's been playing his whole life.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. The way he plays is field based.
But to overcome a matchup like Sheik Puff, I think you need to take advantage of the analytical part, even if it's not you doing it yourself and getting yourself a coach to do it or something, someone to walk you through. Because I don't think a matchup like that is going to be something you can win unless you have the hours put in to building up that field.
Yeah, I agree.
And no one has those hours against Hbox unless you meet him in tournament.
And I don't think Plup wants to put in those hours, which is really understandable. Yeah. Like I said, he went Sheik this tournament because I don't know, because again he's a fields-based player, so I don't know. His Foxes looked pretty bad recently. He said he's bad at fast matchups, so it makes sense.
But Axe is also a field-based player.
He is. That's true.
You know what I feel like makes a lot of the difference? I feel like Axe has a stronger heart and more will to win.
I think that's sort of true. Axe to me is a really interesting.
I say those like half ironically.
No, I know. Especially when you're comparing those two players, Plup can get tilted, and Axe never gets tilted. But I think
it's also just the way they practice too.
Yeah, well,
that makes me say that.
So I was thinking today about how Axe practices, because I was thinking about why Axe won. I'm working on a little video of, I did an interview with Axe at GOML, and I asked him, how are you going to win a major? And he said, I'm going to go play some more Roy Ness with Vector Man. I'm going to figure out some more ways to go under Dreamland stage. I'm going to win the Mango Axe Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just have fun, and that's how I'm going to win a major. Which is exactly what he did, right? He did all that stuff, and makes sense. But it's a little bit of a not entirely true, because Axe really notably comes to new events with new strategies and new tech.
He does.
All the time. Like, it's very easy to see in his gameplay. People were pointing out his dash attack extensions on Miss Tech at this summit as just one example of that. I mean, him versus Hbox at Genesis is the absolute biggest example of this, where he was just up smashing in neutral
literally
over and
stuff
over
we've
again.
never seen before. I still think about the F smash that he got on the right
platform. Yeah, exactly. But like, so I think he is a player who obviously plays by feel. He practices by feel, but he does develop game plans in full beforehand.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why he's able to overcome these demons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. There's like, it goes much further beyond like a black and white categorization between analytical and feel-based.
Yeah, I think part of it is when you're talking about Axe having the heart too. I mean, I think that's totally right in some ways too, because it's part of it is that Axe has the heart to play Melee forever and think about it in a serious way.
He's always thinking about the game. He's always in the game.
Yeah, he literally never gets tired of Melee.
Yeah.
Like, there was a little bit, or like a year ago, when Axe was making sad tweets about getting tired of Melee, and it was the most upsetting thing I've ever seen, because I've never known him to do that before. And so even when he is playing Roy Ness, that's what he says. He's thinking about how to apply it to everything else, right? It's always generative towards winning.
Yeah, nothing surprises him because he's figuring out, he's like exploring every nook and cranny of the game.
Yeah. And I mean, Plup does that too, but I think it's in a more, here's where I'm being serious, here's where I'm not sort of way, right?
For sure.
Axe really absolutely believes every bit of practice he does Melee. Mango Axe, he thinks, like, Mango Axe Wednesdays are a big reason why Axe thinks he's gotten better.
Yeah.
Like, he's absolutely thinks that is one of the reasons he has become a top 3 player now.
Well, you know, he's been doing it for around the same amount of time that he's been on this come up.
I mean, I believe it. And I don't know. Like, I think that part of it is obviously he learns things, he learns new situations, whatever but also having a consistent, really enjoyable, inventive way to play Melee, even if he didn't learn anything new about it. Axe is the sort of person where being able to play Melee in new and fun ways, he is powered by his love for the game, right?
The kinds of things he does with Mango, he and I did that once on his stream, and we did it on like 12 buffer because the connection's not that great. And it was like one of the most fun Melee sessions I've had. We ended it with a Ganon Ditto on a High Roll Temple where I tried to time him out. It was so fun. Because you just like go on the far right side, you do the wizard kick, you get your jump back, you snake a circle, and it was so fun.
Yeah.
And he was just like having a blast the whole time. It was really great.
Yeah, I hope we see him versus Hbox at the next major.
Same. So another thing I want to say is that if Axe had not been pushing as hard as he is, I think he would have lost to Zain by now.
Oh, yeah. Because that is really frustrating for Zain.
Yeah.
That he has notably improved at the matchup every time he's played it.
Yes. And Axe has still stayed ahead.
He's gotten so close.
So this is the thing, is I think the vast majority of Melee players are pretty lazy.
Sure, yeah.
And Zain has just flown by all of them. Right, like
he's like one of the least lazy Melee.
Yeah,
he's probably
the least lazy.
Up there with Axe.
And and like Armada back when Armada was playing.
Yeah.
And Leffen when Leffen's focused on Melee.
Yeah, for sure. iBDW.
Yeah. There's definitely a good
Actually, it's
number.
like sort of like the top 5 of this tournament. Are a good example
Wizzy. But Zain has just like flown past all of them, and you know he came into this tournament prepared because at every tournament this year he's lost to the same 2 people, which is Axe and Plup.
Yeah.
And this time he beat Plup 3-1.
Yeah.
He looked so much better against Plup, and he looked so much better against Axe than he did the last 2 times. The last time we played Axe, he looked kind of sloppy because I felt like he was trying some new things, but he kind of like reeled it back, like filtered out the things that weren't working, and had a really strong game plan, and almost won, to his credit. But like, the fact that Axe is still staying that much, like just that tiny little bit ahead of Zain, shows you that Axe has not slowed down.
Well, yeah, Zain's a matchup solver. We know that.
Yeah,
like, he's really
he
good at it. Although I do want to say, I want to correct people on this a little bit. I do think Zain's a matchup solver, and you can see that in how he's gotten better against Axe, about how he's gotten better against Hbox when that was the main narrative of Melee for a little bit, pretty much. Zain did not solve the Yoshi matchup because he just won the first time. I've seen a lot of people saying that
he solved it before he had to play.
Yeah, he solved it
tournament.
way before, but it wasn't the same chronicling.
Yeah, he didn't run into a wall there.
Yeah, no, he's never lost to a Yoshi. Right?
Yeah. Well, he lost to Amsa like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Something like that.
That doesn't count.
Yeah.
Isn't that so funny? We never talk about Zain. Zain is actually the luckiest player in terms of overall record because he got good so fast that people literally treat Zain from 2 years ago as a different player.
Yeah.
Sfat is technically like 5-19 against Zain, but no one will ever say that. He's 0-19. The first time Zain beat him, that was when it counted.
Let's talk about streaks. Sfat has a 5-win streak. Zain has a 19-win streak or whatever it is now.
Yeah.
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 Another interest. Okay, so we're cooling down a little bit. So for those of you guys who are not caught up, because we kind of just ran right into it.
I mean,
what's our
say?
time? What's our time?
It's only 20 minutes.
20
We're
minutes.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for those of you guys who don't know, this event called Smash Summit happens twice a year. We should put a note in the description. Fast forward to 22 minutes.
Shout out to Koscelot. I don't know if I actually ever put up Koscelot's timestamps on the last episode.
We'll double check.
I should do that. It's so nice. He just does them for us for free.
Fast forward to 22 minutes to get an explanation, or whatever it is now.
Yeah.
To get an explanation of what's going on. So twice a year, Smash Summit happens, and it's an invitational where, what is it, like 7 or 8 of the best players in the world get invited, and 2 or 3 people qualify by placing high at events, and then 5 or 6 people get voted in by the public spending their money.
Yes.
And this time, we had an all-star roster, finally got some international representation.
Yeah, best summit ever.
It was not my favorite summit.
In terms of voting.
It was my favorite summit
Was
in
the
terms
one you
of
went to?
watching, but I loved, yeah. Anyways, distraction. Actually, the one that I wasn't competing in was more fun because
when you were his coach?
Yeah, when I was Amsa's coach, because I got to just like do all the fun stuff. Last time I had to actually focus. Anyways, that's another story. Go back to our old episodes on those. Back to Smash Summit 8. So, Axe wins the tournament.
Yep.
Wizzrobe got second, which we'll talk more about.
Yep.
Leffen got third from... Yeah, he lost to Wizzy.
He lost in winners finals.
He lost in winners finals, yeah.
And then he lost to Wizzy.
And then fourth place was iBDW, and I guess no one else was at this tournament because iBDW is, not even a top 10 player.
Yep. It was an incredible summit. I actually think it was one of my favorite summits, although I haven't been able to...
How could it not be? It was such a good summit.
I haven't been able to watch most summits in full. I mean, M2K winning summit was also sort of beautiful. But this is better. This is better.
For me, this is, it was so cinematic.
Yeah,
the way
absolutely. M2K winning summit was also cinematic to me.
Yeah, I guess.
I think that reaction will stick with me forever. The thing about M2K winning summit is that it'll stick with me forever, and I have a whole thing about how most of Melee doesn't matter except to the people it matters to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess it could just be like a personal thing. Like it just didn't land for me the same way that this one did. But I know it did for a lot of people.
But no, I think this is my favorite summit.
And also the fact, so here are a few more things leading up to Axe's win. The freaking impressive Pickachu trailer.
Oh my god!
Right before winners finals or grand finals or something.
Shout outs to the summit team. Their content was incredible this time around.
And Axe won the tournament. Did you see his percent?
Was he at 69?
It was 169.
Oh, that's amazing.
Isn't that so great?
That's so good.
And it was so close to not being that. But the move that hit Wizzy off stage traded. Axe planned that.
That's incredible.
I'm convinced that Axe planned
That's
that.
incredible.
Anyways, going down the list, 5th place was tied between Zain and Hungrybox, who lost to iBDW.
7th was Plup and Amsa. Crazy.
Amsa got demolished by iBDW.
Yeah, he did. We'll talk about that. And then 9th place, Ginger, Trif, Nun, and Mango at 9th place.
Yeah, not Mango's finest tournament.
Yeah, and then finally in last place, 13th, we had S2J, Spud, Drephen, and Moky.
Yeah.
Oh man, where to start? Well, we've covered Axe for the most part, to be honest.
iBDW?
We can talk about Cody, yeah, because Wizzy might be better to talk about later.
Wizzy's got a longer story.
Yeah.
iBDW went 0-3 in pools. And
losing some matches that I think both you and I were sad to see. We obviously are big iBDW believers because we're Tri-State. We've seen how good he is, and he's never had a national performance of the caliber of his player. He got 25th at Genesis, losing to Axe and Mango.
He lost to Axe and Mango there.
Yeah.
And then he lost to, what was it, like Hbox and Leffen at Smash and Splash?
For 9th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeps getting stopped by gods. You know?
So iBDW went 0-3, and then Fiction and he got really sad. And then Fiction tweeted, it would be so sick if iBDW went from playing really bad and going 0-3 into having an amazing bracket run.
I kept responding to his tweets. I'm like, come
Chin
on,
up,
man.
dude.
Yeah, like
especially when everyone starts in winners.
I know. I didn't even know that was happening.
Yeah, it was me neither. But then anyways, so Cody went on a fucking rampage.
Yeah.
He beat 3 top 10 players in a row.
4 total if you include S2J.
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah, Johnny is still top 10. True. Yeah, that's true.
S2J, Amsa, Hungrybox, and Mango.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, that is absolutely nuts. He also sort of demolished all of those players.
Yeah, he really did.
Which was
what was
incredible.
The Hbox? Was it like a 3-stock?
The last game was a 3-stock. Yeah. Moky was the closest to beating him, actually.
To beating iBDW, yeah.
And didn't Moky go Marth for some of that, or was that a different set?
It was all Fox, yeah.
Was that a different set?
Pretty sure it was all Fox.
Okay,
but that's how it goes sometimes, right? Like you start to heat up in your early sets, you build confidence as you go along, and then you get tech chased by Wizzy.
I will say, I think that a big thing for building confidence with him is, so honestly, of Hbox, Amsa, Mango, the one that I would be most worried for Cody in usually is Mango.
Same.
Yeah, because he is incredible at the Puff matchup. I
was not surprised to see him beat Amsa.
Yeah, not at all. He's actually has a good amount of Yoshi experience from playing against Jamie, Whiskers. They're also both from Queens, aren't they? So have both been in Queens before. I don't know if that's ever.
I think they actually asked him about Whiskers, like if he got practice against Whiskers. And his answer was just that Yoshi sucks.
I agree.
Like he was just like, I just think Yoshi's a bad character.
Yeah, I mean he is, and Fox is very Cody. Yeah. I wasn't worried at all. Yeah. Because I've always said one of the reasons I have such a love for talking about Yoshi is because I think Yoshi is one of the easiest matchups in the game for almost every character to understand. Maybe not to play, but because Yoshi's strengths and weaknesses are so defined, it's pretty easy to find what your character is supposed to do to beat that strength.
That's a good way to put it. I think most people's instincts would not be that.
No.
But you're probably right.
No, but I think for me, talking about Yoshi makes me feel like a better player than I am, and I do really well in that matchup because since I know Yoshi's strengths and weaknesses so well, it's one of the only matchups where I feel like I can say what the correct options are. It's just Yoshi's a very an angular character in terms of the building blocks of how the character works.
Sure.
It's all hard edges that make sense.
Yeah, shield can't jump out of shield.
Yeah, right.
Jumping, he's an armor.
Roll, he has this thing that makes him hard to hit and roll. So do a thing that beats that thing that makes him hard to hit and roll,
Right.
Like stuff like that. So, and I think Cody's someone who that sort of matchup is very easy for him to figure out. But yeah, Mango is what I was most worried about for sure, absolutely.
Mango lost to Axe in winners, right?
Yeah, so
he usually kind of handles Axe.
So, but Axe has beaten him recently too.
What was the last time?
Hasn't he? Didn't he beat him at? Did he not beat him at?
I don't think so.
Oh, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that Mango had been handling him this year.
Yeah, I think the thing for Cody, what I was saying about momentum, is he's sort of got lucky that Mango was playing like shit. And that's a pretty good way to improve your momentum, is to
take a set off Mango.
Play, especially when Cody was moving really well, Mango was moving terribly.
Yeah.
And moving really well against someone is a great against someone who's playing bad is a great way to make you feel like you're really good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I think that was really good for Cody. He probably could have beaten Mango if they were both playing really well too, because Cody's a great player.
Yeah, I mean, obviously one of the things you have to consider is like the way you play against a person who's playing poorly. You can play in such a way that they're able to rebuild back up their momentum.
Right.
And Cody didn't let Mango do that.
No, he did not.
So you know you have to credit him.
Mango, of course, gave a homie game to Axe in winners. Yeah, pretty much.
He did.
And then ended up losing game 5.
Yeah, that feels bad.
Yeah.
But we'll take it.
We take those, absolutely. Mango won the Mango Axe Wednesday, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. That's all he needed.
Yeah. And then he danced on him. That was his revenge.
I know, yeah. You see the pictures side by side?
Yeah, of the two different emotions.
Yeah, that was funny.
But yeah, iBDW had an incredible run. I even thought he had a chance of beating Wizzrobe. Like, I was like,
yeah,
this could totally happen. And then Wizzy sort of bodied him.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting dynamic, their set. Wizzy's just kind of a brick wall, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the way Wizzy took out Zain, too, was rough, because even Zain was not looking that bad, and he blew a 3-stock lead.
Yeah.
It was rather...
He blew 2 3-stock leads.
Rather, Wizzy retook those games.
I actually did a little bit of analysis on the ending of that game that Wizzy brought back. There's a really cool thing that Wizzy does at the end of that game. So, because Wizzy's down a lot, like, obviously many stocks, but he's really high percent, too. He's at, like, 119% or something. And he Raptor boosts Zain, and Zain ASDIs it down and gets knocked down. And so Wizzy runs up and he crouches, which is pretty useless at that percent, because Marth's get-up attack is going to knock down.
True.
But that's a bait to make Zain get-up attack. No, he did get-up attack, and then Wizzy shielded it on reaction and got a grab and punished it. So that was I don't know if it was an intentional bait, but if I'm Zain there, I think, oh, Wizzy is crouching. I can get up attack here, and he's expecting to be able to crouch and do the thing that he normally does.
I kind of want to say that Zain wasn't thinking about Wizzy's percent.
Maybe not. But either way.
Wizzy could have reacted to everything anyways.
Yeah, he probably could. But either way, it's a super optimal potential. You hit a mix-up in your optimal thing just in case.
I think the impressive thing there is that he shielded knowing his percent. Because I think maybe the reason he does the crouch is because that's his muscle memory to get the dash forward or back.
Right, that makes sense.
And then the shielding is recognizing that a get-up attack would knock him down, and he was able to shield on reaction anyways.
Yeah, it was the Marth get-up attack that hits behind first instead of both places, so it's a little bit of an easier reaction to get, but it's still, it was really impressive. Either way, I think that the fact that Wizzy has his reaction flowchart mapped out that well that he can transition from going to crouch to going to shield is like a really big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
It's good recognition by him. So, yeah, he stole 2 games from Zain. Zain was really far ahead in 2 separate games and sort of just got fucked.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah.
Trif is a god.
Yeah, so I just want to say, before we get too deep into like shouting out everyone, one of the reasons this was my favorite summit is because every single player, except for Drephen, but I'm pretty happy with how Drephen summit went.
I love that Drephen was there.
Yeah, every single player had a win that they could be proud of, I feel like.
I was wondering, I was like, how many summits are there where no one goes oh and whatever?
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely no one did, because everyone at least won in pools or something, right? Except for Drephen.
And you know what? That's even fine, because the way Drephen got there was pretty godlike anyways.
Yeah.
It's not like he was a meme pick who got in and then, or not even a meme pick, just someone who got voted in and then didn't do anything. Like, he literally beat 4 top 30 players to get there.
Like, I feel like if anyone is saddest about this tournament, it's S2J.
Yeah, because he performed far below expectations.
Far below expectations. Yeah. But Ginger beat S2J, and Ginger had another win too, right? Ginger got wins on Moky and S2J.
Yeah.
He threw away a set against Wizzy, which was sad, but you know.
Then got 3-0 anyways.
Zain had good stuff. Trif had amazing. We'll talk about Trif as his own thing. Spud got a set on iBDW.
Yeah.
Right. None got to beat Drephen, but None also probably one of the people who's more
I think
upset.
Spud and None both would have wanted more.
Both would have wanted more.
Yeah.
And Moky would have wanted more too. But none of them lost every set they played.
True.
That's a really big deal. Because who did Moky beat in pools? He beat someone. Right?
I got the pools up.
Oh, my bad. Moky beat None.
He 3-0'd None.
That's a good win. You know, that's fine. So, yeah, it was cool to see everyone do pretty well.
Yeah. Where am
I? I'm wondering, at some point I tuned in. I can never watch all of Summit these days, and at some point I tuned into stream and I saw Moky playing Marth, and maybe they were just running a rerun of reverse mains or something.
It must be.
Right?
Yeah, I don't remember him
more people would be talking about it if he had gone Marth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Especially if he's... Oh, you know what? It was probably Moky's Marth against Zain Solves.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Okay.
And Moky's Marth is cool. It was really good, actually. Yeah.
I was really happy that we finally got our international representatives, Trif and Spud.
Yep.
And not only that, but they're both good.
Mm-hmm.
Spud's good, but obviously Trif, this was the Trif show.
Yeah, I mean, let's just say really quickly, a win on iBDW in Marth Fox is nothing to scoff at.
Yeah.
And it's really good for Spud.
Yeah, for sure.
Spud's like clearly a top 40-ish, 30-ish level player. Like
yeah.
he's really fucking good.
Yeah.
But iBDW is, Trif is fucking insane. Oh my god.
Yeah, in pools, Trif beating Zain, reverse 3-0.
Reverse 3-0ing him.
Is nuts.
Yeah, and then you had to go and fucking ruin it.
Sorry.
By sending him all your Marth knowledge. He talked about that or June was talking about that on commentary.
Yeah, I sent June my notes too. I was like, in case Zain forgets something.
Yeah, but Trif getting a win over iBDW also, again, really big, and then so close to beating Leffen. So close.
Because Zain asked me Saturday night to look at the set against him and Trif, because he's like, I might have to play him tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you can't count him out against Leffen, because I knew there was a chance of Trif beating Leffen.
Yeah.
Like, I only saw a couple of their games last week when they were playing on stream, but I just knew.
Well, I mean, all of these. Is Cody good against Peach? Does he have that much Peach practice?
He beat Laud like a year ago.
Okay.
But he also lost to Trif before.
It's not one of his specialty matchups, though. Like, when I think of matchups Cody's good at, I think of Martin.
He was looking really good for a while. Yeah. He had the lead 2-1.
I just bring it up because what I wanted to say is that the people who Trif beat are people who are notably very good at that matchup. Like, even though Zain, ended up losing, he has a lot of experience in that matchup, and Leffen is obviously supposed to be, unbeatable against Peach.
So, I've said in the past that Trif and Laud are, both on the spectrum ends of Peach, in my view.
Yeah.
They're converging.
They're getting closer.
Yeah, and I think they're both so much better for it.
So how did you notice that in Trif's gameplay?
Because I know. So one thing is that me, Laud, June, and Zain had some serious grinding session a few weeks back, and during that week, Laud had been leveling up immensely because I've been giving him crap all year for how bad he is.
Yeah.
And finally, he starts to buckle down, do some analysis on his games, and really start to level up again. And he starts doing things that I've been telling him to do for a long time, and obviously he has to come to it himself, And during that week, he 3-0'd Zain in tournament.
Right.
Hello.
Yeah. Who he had not beaten in a fucking long time.
He had not taken a game off of in a year and a half.
Yeah, right.
And then the next day...
Again, Laud's making Trif's victory pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah, and then the next day, we were at Zain's house and we did seriously sets. Basically throughout the day, we would do some sets, best of 5, and then we'd grind for a while and then do another best of 5. And again, Zain and Laud traded sets. It was 3-1, 3-1.
Yeah.
And this time, I hadn't been watching a whole lot of Trif, but when I was watching Trif versus Zain, he was doing things that Lod did to Zain at that tournament.
So what specifically? Like, I want you to give me details.
So
Richie.
specifically, like the way he handled, like Zain's grounded play. Mm-hmm. So when Zain would threaten his space with Nair, he and Lod had the same answers. So they're hitting him with the same timing and the same angle of Peach's Nair or Fair. And that was Lod's like breakthrough in the matchup is the answers he came up with to Zain's like aerial zoning.
Gotcha.
And then that on top of like finding more turnips and like mixing up threatening Zain's aerials with not doing anything and then backing up and pulling a turnip. And then all of a sudden you have a matchup that seems kind of doable, especially because Peach hits so hard.
Yeah.
So he really started to do that. And it hit me like a lightning bolt when I was watching him on FD. Because that's where a lot of Lod stuff came through, because you have to do that on FD to beat Zain.
Yeah.
But there were things that I was doing against Lod in that same time period that Zain was not doing. And we also sat down and like watched each other play our sets against each other to like take notes and stuff and discuss it. So I like reminded Zain of some of those things to beat that stuff.
Yeah.
And he basically followed it like line by line, and it just worked. And this was actually something we like I asked them all. We got dinner that same day. This was a long session, but I asked them like, when people give you tips, like rules to follow or matchup advice, like where in your thought process does it sit? Is it something that you internalize far in advance and then you kind of like let your instincts take over when you're playing the game? Or when you're playing, do you have it sitting at the forefront of your mind?
Right.
And you're like, I need to follow this rule.
Sure.
So Zain's answer was that he has it at the forefront of his mind, which I thought was really interesting because that never works for me. Like I can't have it at the forefront of my mind, or I start playing stiff and I start ignoring my instincts and I try and adhere to the rules too closely.
It depends for me. I think I have to go in and out of them.
Yeah, I think the answer depends depends on the player for sure.
Yeah.
But I wonder like how all the different top players treat that, because I think people have really different answers to it.
It depends on the character too. I think it's interesting because you guys are both Marth players, but I think like for Falco, I think it is a lot of the time you might have to have it at the forefront of your brain, especially in floaty matchups. Because if you don't...
And maybe it's easier to have it during floaty matchups because they're slower.
I think it is. I think it's easier and also more necessary if you're playing someone who's at a similar skill level to you. It's really easy to beat up on floaties worse than you by having it internalized as Falco. But for me, at least personally, and I think, again, this is just my personal experience, like against Puff or Peach, I have to bring out, oh, right, these characters are slow and these are the things I should be doing.
Yeah.
To mitigate the tools they have to overcome that.
Right. Yeah, it also depends on what you're developed, what skills you have developed to the point of playing comfortably.
Yeah.
So what things are you comfortable not having to think that hard about?
Yeah.
So like Zain gave me a lot of great tips against Samus when I played Duck at Full Bloom, and I think I had them pretty much at the forefront of my head, and I felt like I played that matchup really well. We're pretty sure we talked about it on the podcast at some point. But I was making a lot of errors too.
Yeah.
And Zain was not making those errors.
And then you have to get to the point of where do you divorce, because sometimes it feels like the errors are because you've made a decision to prioritize holding the matchup in the front of the brain. So you have to figure out like, is that actually true, or was I just playing bad and actually doing well because I did have those things?
And at the end of the day, any hesitation can cause that. So
Melee is so sick.
It's about like discovering what kind of player you are, right? Like who you are in Melee.
Yeah, so that's not even a Melee thing. Fighting games and games are so sick.
Yeah,
you know?
So for me, that answer, like that's something I've been thinking about a lot, obviously, because I'm on a rant. But the answer for me is like someone who, in advance, like really breaks down all the micro interactions, like puts a lot of thought into the macro interactions, just really like analyzes as much as I can.
Yeah.
But then I need time to internalize it. And then when it comes to the point of competition, that's when I rely on my instincts and focusing on competing.
It's interesting. It makes me think of when I used to play tennis more seriously too. One of the things one of my coaches told me at one point was like, the most important thing is for you to hit the ball back and hit it well. You know? And like if you can sustain a rally for a really long time, that's good. You're not going to win that way, but you have to be able to do that to win.
Yeah.
So that's by saying if I'm fucking up my shots, I can't start thinking about conditioning them, which you do in tennis. You know, you condition people to go different ways, and then you have little gambits, and then you fake the gambit, you go for something different, et cetera, et cetera. But I can't. I like when you do that without having the baseline level. That's what we call cheesing someone. Yeah. Right.
That's very true.
And you can't get everywhere on cheese.
Yeah.
Usually.
Unless you're a Pikachu main, in which case you can win a major.
No, dude.
There's a reason Pikachu
that is the absolute reason why Axe won is because he didn't cheese. I mean, he did, but it was with so much fundamental.
He earned all that cheese, man.
He absolutely did.
I'm so proud of him, dude.
Absolutely did.
So happy.
Me too. Yeah, it's great.
Melee is so good, dude.
Yeah.
The past few weeks, it just reminded me, like,
it has been
why it's so great.
This has been the best month for Melee
in a long time.
So long.
Yeah.
Like, I want to say this has been the single best month for Melee since 2015.
And you know what the hardest part is for me? Pretty sure I have tendonitis, so I can't even practice right now.
No. Yeah. Oh, that sucks.
It sucks. I'm trying to force myself to take a break this week because I wasn't even playing for a while, and then I played on Saturday and Sunday, and I got all this pain, and I'm like, ugh. It's not because of Melee. It's because of other reasons, but Melee doesn't help.
I played, like, while watching Summit Finals, I played with my friend who's really, really bad at Melee. Like, he follows the scene, but never got good. We played in college, and I was playing Yoshi and Ness and stuff, and I started hurting my hands so bad because I was trying to do Yoshi tech, which I don't really know. Like, I know the inputs
You're
for it.
doing new motions for your hands.
Yeah, so I kept trying to do, like, these double jump cancels and like, parries and shit, and I hurt my hands so bad because of it.
That's rough.
Yeah, especially because I just double tap Y for double jump cancel on Yoshi, which I think is actually sort of fine with Yoshi.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Yeah, it depends. It depends. Yoshi's so weird.
Yeah, he is. I was net playing Red this weekend. Shoutouts to Red. First time playing him in a while.
You know the weirdest thing about Yoshi too? Like, you know what would make Yoshi so much easier is if his jump didn't go forward when you did it. That's the thing that's so weird about him. Yeah. Like how he leans forward like that.
Yeah, he's always leaning forward, man. It's because of so much weight in his nose.
Yeah. He's a heavy, heavy boy.
What can you do?
I mean, Amsa too. Oh my god, dude. That win against Hbox.
Oh yeah, Amsa beat Hungrybox.
Speaking of heart, because this is such a great thing. So I talked to Amsa about this too. I talked to him about matchups and stuff, and he was like, I just need to talk to Kaito more. I can't focus on one matchup. Like, I'm not good against Marth right now because I didn't have anyone to play, but it felt like focusing on Marth was wasting my time, you know? Because, like, what Marth do I have to worry about?
Yeah, it's just Zain.
But
I'm coming for you.
I mean, his development in the Puff matchup. So he beat Hbox at Summit 2 summits ago?
It was last spring, right?
I think it was only 2 summits ago, right?
Yeah, 2 summits ago.
2 summits ago, he beat Hbox, right?
1 year.
And he showed a bunch of stuff that he had in that matchup with falling up air off platform was like the main thing that Hbox couldn't figure out an answer to.
He played it so well, dude.
And then so last summit, they played again, or maybe not, whatever. Last time they played at Summit, they played again, and Hbox clearly had some answers, but it still looked really even. And then they got to Dreamland, and it was just over. It was so futile for Amsa, because once Hbox got a lead, he just ran away with it.
Yeah.
And then this set happened, and the same thing happened, and Hbox was running away, and he was running away really well. And that is one of the most monumental comebacks I've ever seen. Amsa was only down a stock, but in that matchup, with Hbox having proven before that it sort of looks impossible, the fact that Amsa made that comeback is absolutely insane.
Didn't he win with a jump nair facing away from the stage?
Yeah, he did.
That's like such a random, like, he's conditioning him to jump back so many times that finally he jumps off the stage, like away from the center with a nair and just wins.
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually something Leffen mentioned on commentary too. The back hitbox of Yoshi's nair is way better than the front hitbox.
But wasn't it the front hitbox that he used?
Oh, was it?
I could have sworn, unless I'm remembering incorrectly, but I'm pretty sure one of the games he
Wait, so what do you mean by a back nair?
No, like away, just he jumped towards the edge, from the edge. Like Puff was shielding in the corner, and he was facing Puff away from the stage, and he jumped in that direction with a nair.
Oh, and like crossed him up, you mean, and hit him? Oh, maybe.
To call it like a jump.
Maybe. I actually don't remember.
Something like that. Maybe
he
I'm
did
crazy,
he
but-
did have some stuff like that.
Yeah, where
though.
he just calls out his movement after like 60 straight seconds of neutral.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fucking insane. That is in my mind. It's not as flashy as some other comebacks, but the sheer mental willpower and overcoming a game plan, like that is in my mind one of the greatest comebacks of all time in that game 5. It was so sick.
I wonder how much difference reintroducing the coaches made. There wasn't a whole lot of fuss made about it.
No.
It kind of happened quietly.
There was not, and incidentally enough, the man who is most often flamed for his coach, Hbox, did not have a great tournament.
True. Well, after what, like
Another 5th place.
2 or 3 summits ago where he was one of 2 players who had a coach.
Right. Well, it's another 5th place, right? He just got 5th place at Smash and Splash
Which was his lowest placing.
since Big House 4
Something like
or
that.
6 or something. I can't
A long time ago.
Big House is, for some reason, Big House is a tournament where it wasn't, I don't know.
A long time ago.
Yeah,
Since he's gotten 5th.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Kaito for Amsa was really, really important.
Yeah.
Kaito has been huge for Amsa in general, and I'm very excited. When I talked to Amsa in our interview, he said that, maybe what I have to do is just come and stay in the US for longer and more long term, and that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
If Amsa stays in the US long term, oh boy,
Yeah, imagine him actually getting practice.
he's gonna be fucking unstoppable. Dude.
Yeah.
That's when he wins a major.
Yeah.
Which
I believe it.
I feel like Amsa will win a major in the next year and a half, right?
Yeah, honestly, I think people are catching up to Hbox. I think maybe he's slumping a little bit, maybe he's not, but I think people are making it a lot harder for him. than
Okay,
it has
so we need to actually talk about another tournament that happened.
been. Yeah.
So to cap it off, because that tournament had really big impact on this too.
Yeah.
What would be your rankings for let's just say the top 6, because that after that it's also hard. But how would you seed the next tournament for the top 6?
The really hard question is, does Hbox still have the 1 seed?
To me, he does.
I feel like he does too.
Yeah.
It's hard to take it away after only a few tournaments, after so many.
Yeah.
So let's say Hbox won.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mango lost the 2 seed.
Oh, I don't think he's even 3 seed. I
think the next 2 have to be Axe and Wizzy.
Yeah, and then I don't think Mango is 4th seed.
You think that's Leffen?
I think Leffen is 4th
I think so
seed too.
And then
Leffen has gotten 3rd place at like 3 tournaments in a row.
in a row, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Mango Zain.
Zain over Plup now.
Yeah. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It comes down to whether you're taking the whole year into account or not. I think if we were to do our middle of the year rankings, which should be happening, are those happening this year? I don't know.
I don't know.
But
I don't
if
even
we-
know if I'm eligible, dude.
If we were ranking for the year,
Yeah.
then Plup is over Zain. In my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in seeded, and that's also sort of how you have to make it's the Hbox Axe thing too.
Yeah.
But Zain over Plup right now might make sense, yes, given Plup's most recent
What
performances.
a world, dude. Hbox, Axe, Wizzy, and at the current rate, I don't know.
Oh, you mean them overtaking him?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, they're outplacing him.
This is the
What
thing.
do you call that, you know?
So when was the last time Axe and Hbox played?
Genesis.
That was it, right? That was
Yeah,
the last time?
that was it.
This is such bullshit. People are saying that there's a rock, paper, scissors within that top 3. That is such bullshit.
Wizzy and Hbox only played at 1 tournament, right?
Well, they played at Smash and Splash.
Yeah.
And then they played at this. No, wait.
No,
they
it
didn't
was
play.
just Smash and Splash. You can't call a rock, paper, scissors off 1 tournament each.
Yeah, I guess it's because of when he won Optic Arena or whatever.
A year ago?
They didn't even play this
Good
tournament.
Lord.
Yeah, people saying it's a rock, paper, scissors are fucking stupid.
Yeah, 1 data point.
Any of them could beat anyone. Hbox could go back to beating them again.
He could, next tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. It's dumb. And Axe could absolutely beat Hbox. That's the one that really gets me pissed. People saying,
Yeah.
because people are saying,
I understand them for not believing that one yet.
people are saying that the reason Axe can't be number 1 is because he hasn't beaten Hbox yet, and that is a valid thing to think about in terms of Axe. But like, people saying it's not doable for him. Like, people are treating it like when Plup couldn't beat Armada, and that's bullshit.
You know what else is undoable? Winning a major with Pickachu.
Yeah, exactly. Did you see what Axe said on stream after?
No.
So he started streaming like immediately after, and he went to all the people who said that Pickachu couldn't win a major. I don't even remember what he said. He said something like, I showed you... No, he said something like... He didn't say, I showed you guys, but he said, like... He said in a very nice way, like, haha, proved you wrong. I think he said, proved you wrong, something like that. And then whoever
Did
was...
he say, smell you later?
No. Whoever was standing behind him was like, Jesus Christ, this guy's so nice. I would have said, suck my dick, idiots.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I wish I knew. I wish I sort of fucked up telling that story. I can't remember. I'll look it up. Yeah.
Sub to Axe. Axe.pizza.
Axe.pizza. All right, we're at an hour already.
Already?
Much. Yeah, we're at 55.
Jeez.
Do you want to take like a really quick break? Do we even want to break it up, or should we?
Yeah, let's take a small break.
All right, let's take a quick break. All right, guys. After this, Wizzy, we didn't forget about you. You also did some pretty historic stuff. Yeah, we'll be back in a sec. Hey everyone, Zain here. First of all, little apology. I know that the content in this episode happened a really, really long time ago. You guys won't believe it. Well, you will at this point because you guys know how this stuff goes. But I actually had uploaded the entire episode and had it all processing right before I left for the airport to go to Europe for 10 days, which is where I've been for the last 10 days. So this episode was actually supposed to go up 9 days ago, and unfortunately, while it was in the processing stage on YouTube, something happened. I don't know. It's still processing, I think, now 9 days later. So that just goes to show that, yeah, something went wrong. But yeah, sorry so much. I think that the conversations we had should still be relevant because, I don't know, Axe winning Summit and Wizzy winning Smash and Splash seem like pretty long-lasting conversations, but I am sorry that they're not as topical as they could be. Luckily, I don't think anything too huge happened at CEO. Yeah, you know, Hbox ledge camped and Cody made a run after threatening to drop out of the tournament, but hey, those things happen all the time anyways, so it's not such a big deal. But again, sorry that this comes out so late. I hope you still enjoy the episode. And a little disclaimer for the next little segment. I say some very, very dumb things about Wizzrobe's record versus M2K. I'm sorry. I'm lacking that killer instinct, that just that unflappable knowledge of Melee matchups that I used to have. So I'm sorry for that. Shout out to Melee Stats, who would surely reprimand me very harshly if they see what I'm saying, and I'm sure they will do that. But yeah, fun episode. What a great time to be watching Melee. Isn't it cool that, you know, this is coming way after the fact since CEO hadn't happened when we recorded this episode, but CEO now has happened. Hbox won, and it still feels like an interesting development in Melee, in a way that Hbox's wins in the past hadn't, right? Like, it's like, oh, okay, so he can still win. Wizzrobe isn't his kryptonite. That's really cool. I like that we can have things like that. But yeah, again, apologies for the late upload on this episode. It was just infinite processing, and I didn't really want to take my hard drive with me to Europe, and then Rishi couldn't. We just decided to, you know, since I went through all the work of making the video version, we didn't want to just put the audio version up. So, yep, there you go. But I hope you guys still enjoy the episode. Thanks so much, and maybe we'll talk about the issues raised by CEO and in the C-Stick. Ooh, remember those? Food for thought. Arduinos. Ooh, there's a topic. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoy the rest of the episode. Bye. Hey guys, welcome back to Analog, where we're going to do right by Wizzy and talk about his honestly equally impressive accomplishment.
Yeah, we did not forget.
of winning Smash and Splash. This is why I thought he beat him twice, because he beat him in 2 sets.
Yeah.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, so there's no room for debate on this one.
No.
Because Wizzy did not avoid Hungrybox.
No.
He double eliminated him.
Yes.
And won the tournament from winner's side.
Yes, absolutely.
Losing 2 games to Hungrybox total, is that right?
Yeah, the only person who took him to game 5, do you know who it is?
Oh.
On the character, region?
No.
Try and guess the ranking.
No.
It was Spark. Spark took him to game 5.
Oh, yeah.
Round 1 of top 64.
No, I knew that.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Spark.
Yeah, good
Same
stuff.
thing as yesterday with not yesterday. We were talking about with Cody taking a game 5 early in bracket.
Oh, true, by Moky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday. That's
That
how long our
happened. That
first
happened to
half
me at
was.
Full Bloom. My first 2 sets in losers bracket were both game 5 before I finished off my run into the top 8. Sometimes that's how it happens.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Okay, we spent a lot of time talking about Axe winning, Wizzy winning. I just want to talk about how this is one thing that everyone has pointed out, but it does feel very, very true. Wizzy played very Wizzy-like in that he stomped the top platform a lot and he was really careful.
Yeah.
But the moments where he took reads, which were still very calculated reads, were one of the reasons that he looked so dominant against Hbox.
Yeah.
Because he was able to get those leads so convincingly by the few reads he had, and then go to the Wizzy style again, which is amazing at holding a lead.
Yeah, Wizzy, we describe him as a robot, but his mix-ups are quite calculated. Like, when he throws out Raptor Boost, obviously not against Puff, he doesn't throw that move out.
No, but
he throws out Nair and up air in very strategic locations. Like, he won the tournament with a falling second hit Nair,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. Well, falling second hit Nair into knee.
Into knee,
Yeah. Wizzy's, Wizzy is the side B move out of corner guy.
Yeah.
He's the one who does it more than anyone.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Also, he was in top 8 of Ultimate at the same tournament.
By beating Tweak.
Tweak, yeah.
And
looking really respectable against a Buzz, honestly.
And he beat Mega Man player, Scat.
Yeah. Scat.
Yeah. Wizzy's fucking amazing. If he ever has a performance even close to this again, in Ultimate even, just wouldn't have to be with Melee at the same time. He's sort of the undisputed best overall Melee player of all time. Overall Smash player of all time.
Can I also say that the way he plays Wolf is so Wizzy.
Oh, absolutely. He reaction tech chases with down smash.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, he tech chases, he just throws out an aerial in place until he finds a hit, and then he turns off his brain and goes into auto combos that he's just optimized so well.
Wizzy's Wolf is what Hugo's Wolf wishes it was.
Yeah.
Chillin and I talked a lot about Hugo's Wolf. Hugo's Wolf has no soul. I fucked up Hugo's Wolf at his party that's embarrassing.
That's funny.
Hugo's Wolf is what I said. It's the Samus lazy boy
with your Pokemon trainer or your Greninja?
With my Pokemon trainer.
Nice.
Yeah. It's the Samus lazy boy Nair turned into a character.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
He's just going for he literally all Hugo does is Nair in place to try and to get a Nair into dash attack. That's all he does.
Hugo, go back to me Gunner.
He should.
Sammy.
He should.
Yeah,
but other crazy shit happened in this tournament too. It was actually a nuts tournament in general.
Pew lost to Chew.
That was what I wanted to point out too, because they had a last stock tiebreak situation that they had to do.
Chew has now gone to game 5 with Top Marths twice.
Chew went to game 6 with Pew.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
They had to play a tiebreaker stock.
Oh man, that was crazy, dude. That was nuts.
That was actually, I was so upset. I've been sort of hard on myself while rewatching my commentary VODs, and one of the worst parts I really am not happy with how I commentated iBDW Hbox. I was fine, but I feel like I could have brought a lot to that matchup. But one of the reasons that it was really hard to commentate, and I genuinely don't know how to do this as a commentator, is that Pew Chew was having its last stock tiebreak situation as Hbox iBDW was starting, and it was on a gigantic screen directly in front of us. It was impossible not to watch it.
Right.
So yeah, that was fun. Probably should have just ignored it, but it was
as good as Chew has been looking in that matchup. Can I just say, come on guys,
say it.
It's like you forgot how to play Ices. Like they're doing basic things that they can just be. There are better options for. Sometimes I wonder, like, is it my responsibility to reach out to my fellow Marth players and tell them what they're doing wrong?
Yeah.
No, it's not. They don't do the same for me.
I guess not your responsibility.
Not always.
No, but like they do sometimes.
Yeah, no. No, what happens is I ask for help, and help is given.
Well, it's funny
welcomely.
because Kevin Pew Pew was someone who seemed like he had such an incredible game plan against that character just
a
while back.
I'll say the most blatant thing that the whole set, I was like, Kevin, you need to be doing this. Up throw Sopo. Just up throw him.
Oh, and then hit Nana?
Yeah, or do whatever you want to do.
What was he doing? Was he
was
forward throwing?
Forward throw or down throw. And I was yelling this out while I was watching the game. I'm pretty sure he lost a game because of that exact thing. Like you throw Popo sideways, then you have to guess what's going to happen next because Chu can tech, he can DI in such a way that he's going to tech quickly.
Yeah.
And then while you're hitting Nana, he can true punish you with Sopo with a down smash.
Yeah,
and he
exactly.
died off
Even
of
if
it.
you down throw him, he techs in and down smashes
So you just up throw Sopo and you get it for free. You do whatever you want to Nana, or you can decide to go sharp Popo.
Interesting.
It's like the only advantage that forward throw or down throw have is that occasionally you get a double hit that can make like a pivot tipper more easy or something.
Yeah,
or you
or
hit them both at the same time.
You can on bad DI just tipper them too, which is what Kevin was sort of going for sometimes.
but
which is not recommended.
But against ICs, minimize variance as much as possible.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel that.
That's one of those easy changes to make that like really can do enough in the matchup to have you win the set. I feel like.
What else happened at this tournament? Amsa beat Mango.
Yeah.
For the second time that they've
The first game of that set was crazy though.
Second time in 2 sets, right? He's beaten them back to back. They haven't played between now and Genesis, have they?
I guess so. Wow. I guess that's
maybe
the
they
case.
did, but I don't think so.
No, I don't think they've played since then.
So that's two in a row that
But
Amsa has on
that
Mango.
first game though, with the double.
Oh my god,
KO,
the double kill! Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah.
The DBZ.
I had to go back and check what Amsa did because I was like, up air is not going to hit Falco from below. He downbeat. The downbeat traded
it's
with
downbeat.
the upbeat.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
was nuts.
Yeah.
Wizzy beat Leffen 3-1.
Yeah. Well, now Wizzy is.
Now twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mango 3-0 Boyd. That's pretty crazy.
Shut up.
Swooper beat Bananas.
Yeah, that was huge. Swooper beat Bananas and then lost to Michael. Ginger had a really good set with one of the other walkovers, because one of these walkovers, some of the people made it in nominally as walkovers, but they still like
100
did
grand,
really well.
100 grand took my spot in bracket.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was supposed to be a Fox. I think PRZ was the second seed.
Oh, did he beat PRZ?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
So I thought
that's
it was,
a good win in its own right.
I thought it was really funny that Ginger still had to play a green Mars.
Yeah, and he played really well.
Yeah, 100 grand played really well.
100 grand played
yeah.
amazing.
No,
he was so.
Took it to game
I
5.
commentated that set.
Yeah.
He killed Ginger with every B move, except for counter. He never
What?
killed. I think he never killed him. He might have gotten one at the very end, but
That's
he
really
killed
funny.
him with side B, up B, and neutral B before he killed him with counter.
Yeah, he played pretty well. He played really different from my Marth.
He's completely different from your Marth.
Yeah.
But he was really good. He's a weirdo Marth.
Tech Boy, good stuff. Leffen didn't drop a game. To Tech Boy, good job. Lord English.
Shabo went really close with Fiction. Oh my god.
Yeah, he
Speaking
did.
of, that's another champagne fox, PRZ and Shabo.
Yeah.
This is something I learned at Smash and Splash that's really funny. So Zamu, top 100 player, right? Third in Champaign, Illinois, under PRZ and Shabo.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that happened.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really funny. iBDW Hungrybox was my most anticipated set of the tournament. Like I said, I didn't feel like I did a great job commentating it, but I'm really happy I got to see it. It was criminal that Cody was seated as low as he was, that he was seated to lose to Lucky.
You and I talked about this that week.
Yeah, we did.
We were like,
fucking
he's just going to
stupid.
beat them both.
Yeah, and he came so close against
he did.
Hbox.
The last game was pretty rough.
The last game was rough.
Sometimes that happens your first time fighting someone of that caliber.
But I talked to Cody about this. The thing that made me very happy to see with his last game is that he still... So in the end, he got 2-stocked in the last game.
Yeah.
But he died at... He got gimped immediately at the start of it. And so to bring it back that close, like, and not get mentally tilted, which Cody can do, is very admirable and very good for him. He didn't have to put that specifically on display at Summit because he sort of walked over his opponents,
Yeah.
who he went with his big wins, and he did get upset with his other ones. But still, he had mental fortitude throughout the weekend, so
Yeah.
a good thing for Cody.
The real story of this tournament was King Momo, who I forgot about until I'm looking at the bracket. Right?
What the fuck?
So he beat
He beat Spark and Michael?
he beat Spark and Michael.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That's nuts.
S2J lost to Pew Pew. S2J has not had a good couple of tournaments, huh?
No, he is not.
Friends,
To the point where I was looking at the end of my top 10 ranking still has S2J and Sfat as 9 and 10, but I had to look to see if Sfat was above Johnny because Sfat's had a really good this tournament. But no, it's still Johnny.
It's still Johnny.
If you
okay.
look for the year, if we were to
Sure,
do rankings,
sure.
if we were to do seedings, it's a little
Yeah.
bit harder to say.
iBDW over Pew Pew. Leffen washed iBDW.
Yeah, it was not close.
Which is kind of like, they kind of play a very similar style in some ways.
Leffen and iBDW?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Leffen has a lot of those, especially in that matchup, like much more fleshed out.
The other real story of this tournament is that it's Dewan's best tournament in
A long time.
2 years,
Yeah.
probably.
His first tournament in 2 years.
But he actually had a really, really impressive. He had probably, relative to how you expect someone to play, like obviously Wizzrobe and King
Oh, he beat a lot of people.
but he had
man.
an incredible run. He beat
PRZ.
PRZ, who, as we just said, no
This is
slouch.
great. This is like his shine run,
Yeah,
right?
PRZ over Triforce, Lucky, Ginger, Chudat. Like that is a very, very good list. For
Yeah,
Dewan.
that is.
Yeah, and then he lost to Zain.
I heard Zain made him look like a noob.
Yeah, he made him look like a noob at GOML too.
Yeah.
Zain's like.
Oh, was it at both?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
so good at that. But yeah, he got eliminated by. He had an okay run at GOML too, going. He beat none at GOML. So
Right.
Dewan actually something to keep an eye on. He went to 2 tournaments in the space of 3 weeks, which is crazy for Dewan, and he did better than his diminished state would suggest.
Right. So we talked about Zain Amsa before. Did we talk about it? We talked about it on the podcast, right? Or
Yeah,
was
we
it-
talked about it because of GOML.
Yes.
'Cause
Okay.
We did
So
an episode in between.
one thing
this
I want to
tournament.
mention real quick is I'm going to try and pull this up for you.
Sure.
So I message the Brown Crowns group chat, which is me, Laud, Zain, and June. And I said, wow, Zain, you have Amsa downloaded so hard that you beat him in the same amount of time with 5 seconds buffer
Holy
twice.
shit, that's crazy. 15:25
And
at
15:20.
15:25 at Smash and Splash and 15:20 at GOML.
It took him 5 more seconds to beat Amsa the second time.
Amsa's getting better, dude.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I talked to Amsa about that match too. I got to interview Amsa, which was really fun, like I said. And he said for both Wizzy and Zain, and this is sort of true, he dropped a match that he should have won. He should have won game 4 in both of them, and he came back on.
Yeah.
I think the next time Amsa and Zain play is going to be closer.
You said that last time.
Well, it took him 5 more seconds.
Yeah.
It took him 5 more seconds,
Next
dude.
time-
It was closer.
Let's see how many seconds
It was
next
closer.
time. It was.
But I think it will
was.
really be closer because he's going to get to study with Kaito,
Yeah.
which we've just talked about is
Fair.
really big for him.
So, yeah, true.
Yeah.
So the real story of this tournament is Sfat.
No, it's Drephen. It's Drephen,
No,
dude.
it's Sfat.
It is Sfat.
It's
It was a return to form for Sfat.
Dude, Sfat looked good against Zain, man.
He looked very good against
Yeah.
Zain. But here's the thing too. I was talking about how people only remember what they want to remember. Zach's had game 5s against Zain before.
He had one.
Yeah.
Just one.
Was it only one?
Yeah.
He had
and
one.
that was in like November. And now he had another one. And here's the thing, like
Was it in November? Was it Big House?
I want to say it's not Big House. I think it was like a regional or something.
Okay. Whatever.
No, wasn't it like one of those SoCal tournaments or NorCal tournaments? One of those. Pretty sure.
Has he really only had one game 5 against him?
That I remember, like off the top of my head.
I'll look this
Usually he's getting 3-0 or 3-1.
I think I'm gonna look this
Because
up.
it stuck out to me. That's why I'm remembering it. But in any case, I felt like he looked better in this game 5 than he did at that other one. Because that other one, he was playing pretty sloppy. This one, it was like he had a stronger game plan. He was executing better. He just got outplayed, you know, enough times. But what's really telling to me is the fact that he got it this close with a single set of Zain losing to Fox. You know what I mean?
You mean he studied him losing to Leffen?
Yeah, he finally got one set of footage of Zain losing to Fox in recent history and took it to Game 5. Now he has 2 sets to study because Leffen beat Zain again. So
that is an interesting way to look at it.
Right?
That's a good point.
I mean, you know Sfat is studying those sets.
It's only 3 sets that Zach has ever taken. It's not even 5.
Oh, no, dude. And it's one of those Zain's Fox? I hope not.
I don't think so. So Sfat beat him at GOML 2017, and then the last time he beat him after that was no. There've been a few Game 5s.
Really?
So the first time Zain beat him was a Game 5.
Okay, SmashCon.
And then Flatiron 3 was a Game 5.
Okay.
And then Roast of Hugo Gonzalez was a Game 5.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. Roast of Hugo is the one we were thinking about, where it looked like Zach was going to do it.
So it's rare.
It's rare, but
He's had 4 out of 17, right?
Something like that. And this also might not be totally updated.
And in the last 6 months, it was just this one.
Yeah. It's 14. It's 14 in general. So if we're counting from the first time Zain beat him, which was DreamHack Denver,
then it's 4.
Then it's 14 matches in total, and so he's had 4 out of 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, went to Game 5.
So less than a third.
Or sorry, 4. It would be 4 out of 3. Oh, I see. Because he beat him once after. It wasn't a streak. He did actually get one of the wins after Zain beat
SmashCon?
him. No, after SmashCon. He beat him at DreamHack Denver. Yeah.
Nah. I don't count that
So
one.
it's not a completely uninterrupted streak.
That's really funny.
Which is really funny, too, because SmashCon is the most Zain ever styled on Sfat. The first time he beat him is the most... He had that one combo that would have been the greatest Marth combo of all time, and it still is because he bodied him so hard. He did so much damage in one combo that the sour spot down air killed him. That's actually a better example of how good the combo was.
Yeah. In a classic Sfat fashion, not only did he have one of his best showings against Zain, but he also qualified for Summit.
And then he
then declined.
Because he had a wedding to go to.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so came the 3-person round robin between Drephen, Shroomed, and KJH, which was handily taken by Drephen.
Yeah, it was...
He just beat them both. Chillin didn't even get to play Dewan.
Dewan... I talked to Dewan a little bit about this. I won't say too much about it, because I'll let Dewan reveal it in his own time. But I don't think Dewan cared too much about the match.
Sure, yeah.
You know, maybe he's jawning, but I don't think he cared too much, which made it really sad to see Kalindi lose. I was still super hyped for Drephen.
Yeah.
But it was, you had this this sliding scale of how people cared, and it was Kalindi, who really desperately wanted to do well.
Yeah.
Dewan in the middle, like, sort of whatever. And then Drephen probably cared about as much, like, he cared a little bit. I talked to him about it.
He cares enough to have been playing Melee
but
for 20
in a
years.
completely different way than Kalindi cared. I asked him about it, and he said, yeah, man, I just got to play more Melee, you know? I got to play more Melee, so I was happy about that.
Yep. That sounds like Drephen.
Drephen's a goblin, dude. Self-described goblin.
I love Drephen.
Yeah, what a run from Drephen. I mean, the matches he won, none in Westball is nothing to scoff at by any means, right?
Yeah.
And the swooper, the swooper took him to Game 5, but none in Westballs were both Game 4.
Hey, that's how it happened. That's been the story, dude.
That's so funny.
Game 5 early in your bracket and to do really well.
Damn, the swooper almost qualified for Summit.
Oh, no, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wizzy won Smash and Splash.
Wizzy won Smash and Splash. Yeah, I mean, like, it was a really fun bracket. There were a lot.
The first Super Major to be won by a Falcon since 2005, back when MLG 2002 had 6,000 entrants in 2005.
What?
I reject the notion that there was ever a Super Major before, like, 2013.
Sure.
I just wanted to make a point.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
But I get what you're saying. I think Super Major is definitely a new term, but it's also the first time Falcons won a major since then.
Yeah, the point is that people are like, wow, this is the first time it's happened since 2005.
Which there is a metric on which that's true.
What metric?
Major.
But like, what was a major?
Most counts as a major. Most totally counts
How
as
many
a major.
people was it?
It doesn't matter, dude.
It does matter. It's so different. You can't compare those things to what it is now.
You can, because what you're saying is that like there's still a point in Melee history where Falcon was able to compete at the top level and win the highest echelon of tournaments, and that has not been true for 14 years. That's all. Obviously, it's not exact as like Pickachu, but once upon a time, 14 years ago, Falcon could win the biggest tournaments.
But
then it didn't happen for 14 years.
When you say biggest tournaments at the top level of play, there has to be an asterisk next to top level of play.
Yeah, well, obviously there is, because people are smarter than you're giving them credit for. And some people aren't too.
I was gonna say,
but some people are.
They?
Listen, Wizzy winning is still monumental.
Yeah.
Like it is.
It is historic.
You're actually arguing that it's more monumental.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Of course. Like, people are taking away from what he did by saying it was done in 2005, because nothing like this has ever been done. That's my point. Like, the win in 2005, in my mind, is not even remotely close to this.
Yeah.
Like, in 2005, the meta is so high variance, because no matchup is really set in stone. And also, people haven't played each other enough for any matchup to really become, like a matchup. Like, every matchup is player to player at that point. It doesn't matter what character you're playing.
Yeah.
That early in the game. Nothing was really that one-sided. Now we have matchups, like, so...
That's not true.
Far developed.
That's not true. Some matchups were more one-sided.
Like Sheik and characters Sheik could chain grab?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're not talking about we're not talking about Dr. Mario winning a major.
People saw Sheik Falcon as like pretty almost unwinnable back then too.
Did they?
Didn't they?
I feel like that was more of a mid-melee type thing.
Maybe you're right, like 2008.
Yeah, like in the period between Mewtwo King's reign and him losing to None.
Maybe a Mewtwo King.
You know?
That is still... someday we need to do an episode just about that.
Mewtwo King losing to None?
Why None is the best at beating Sheik. And specifically M2K Sheik.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things that has always stuck out to me as such an interesting... little weird facet of Melee, because if M2K were still playing, that would be another demon for Wizzy, absolutely, that he'd have a really hard time beating. And I think we've highlighted a lot on this podcast how Wizzy and Plups Sheiks, M2K and Plups Sheiks are like almost completely different matchups for a lot of players.
Yeah.
Like we talked about it with Amsa, where I still maintain that even though M2K wins against Amsa more than Plup does, like Plup understands the matchup and does better Sheik things more.
Sure.
But
yeah.
But it's always so wild to me that None was the one who beat M2K.
Yeah.
Like that's the one. And I for me it's also because it's a huge validation for me, where I always said that M2K wasn't that
we talked about this.
He wasn't that great against Falcon.
Yeah.
Mango is amazing against Falcon.
Yes. Yeah.
M2K was good and better than all the Falcons. And he had a playstyle that was really good at beating people underneath him.
Wizzy didn't play Mango at this tournament.
No, he dodged Mango and Plup.
Yeah.
Which are the two. See, that's the other thing is like if we're making arguments about
Axe and Hungrybox, you have to bring this up too.
Wizzy has the bigger ones, which is what we talked about when we previewed Summit, when we talked about who are the demons for each player.
Yeah.
And that was we said actually that Wizzy. We basically were like, Wizzy has more demons. And that was before Smash and Splash 2 when we did that preview.
And you can make the argument that Armada and Mewtwo King not being in the mix really kind of opened up the field, but like, it's not unreasonable to say that they would have caught up anyways.
Yeah, I'd love to see Wizzy M2K, honestly. Yeah. More than Wizzy Armada, which is weird to say because, it's Armada. But I feel like Wizzy would have eventually done it with Armada. It sort of just feels like a given to me. And he would have done it eventually with M2K. Yeah, he would have.
I feel more strongly about that with Mewtwo King than Armada.
How close did Wizzy ever get to M2K?
he got close enough that Mewtwo King was playing Marth against him.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that.
I just remember Mewtwo King ledge camping him with Marth on Stadium.
Oh, true.
Right?
True.
I feel like people don't talk about that enough. The fact that happened.
Wizzy beat him multiple times. What am I talking about?
Mewtwo King?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
was going to say.
Edwin is going to, like, crucify me
Whatever.
for this one. Yeah, he beat him multiple times.
Yeah. So the note that I kind of want to end this on.
He beat him at the last summit. He 3-0'd him.
Oh.
That's right.
Well.
Yeah. And he beat him at Smash Rivalries. Every time he's beaten M2K, it's been a 3-0.
Yeah, he did well at that tournament.
I'm so stupid. I was, like, questioning that one.
Okay, so the note I kind of want to end this on kind of feels like it fits in the theme. It's like there's multiple instances of like sports records that people always said would never ever be broken. And when you're talking about certain sports or certain events that people compete in athletically, like, is that a word? I don't know if that's a word.
Mm-hmm.
You're literally talking about the limitations of a person's physical body.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a human can just not be faster than this.
Right.
And yet those records are broken over time.
Yeah.
And it's like in a game where in theory the rules are even more set than like our biological limitations.
Yeah.
Like, how are we still seeing the meta evolve when we've been hammering away at this game for so long, and people are still breaking through and still breaking the rules that we think are set in stone?
Yeah, for sure.
Makes you wonder, like, back to what I was asking at the beginning, like, what other characters are in the same bucket as Pikachu, where it's like, in a perfect storm, you can win a major. And in Axe's case...
It's not a perfect storm.
That's what I was going to say. In Axe's case, like, he might just be making it happen for himself.
It feels like more of a perfect storm for Falcon than it does for Pikachu right now.
These are the questions I'm trying to ask.
That's what's so cool.
It's like, what is it about Falcon and Pikachu that make it possible?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because Wizzy also dodged Mango and Plup at Summit.
At Summit,
right?
yeah.
And that's how he got to Grand Finals. So, although maybe he would just beat them. I don't know. I
Maybe
can't
he
believe
would.
I'm so mad that I just like it was just like Wizzy give me M2K. It's stupid. No, yeah, I think it's like a fun question to ask now. The reason that I love Melee right now, one of the biggest reasons, is that it feels more about individual players than it has in a long time. Mm-hmm. When we would talk about questions like this for a while, because like 6 months ago when we would talk about matchups and stuff, we would talk about it in a really abstracted way of how can this character do in this situation. You know, we had all the conversations about Falco. And there's no reason to talk about that right now because the top 10 is so diverse. There are 2 repeated characters in the top 10.
Yeah.
Right?
Fox, right?
Fox and Falcon. There's 2 Falcons and there's 2 Foxes.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 characters that there are multiple of.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's actually complete. I mean, and then Plup, like, sort of makes there be another Fox.
You have to add, like, when people say how many viable characters there are, and it's like, yeah, like 6.
No, there's 8.
Well, there's 8 in the top 10.
8 in the top 10 right now. Yeah, which is
crazy
nuts.
how that answer is different for number 11 through 30. Right?
Oh.
It's probably either the same or fewer, because it's what? Fox, Marth, Falcon,
Marth, Falcon, Sheik,
Peach, Samus, 6. I don't think
Ices.
Ices? Yeah, Ices.
Bananas.
7. That's it. There's no Puffs in the top 30. There's no Pikachu in the top 30. There's no Yoshi. There's no Doc. There's no Mario. There's no DK.
Ganon. No Ganon, Luigi.
Nope.
Yeah, 7.
It's 7. There are more characters in the top 10 than in 11 through 30.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's some exclusiveness there.
Yes, but you also used a very arbitrary cutoff point, because if you go 10
if you
ranks
go to
up,
40, you
then
get Puff.
You get Puff.
Still, 8 to 8, right?
Yeah. I
different
know what you're saying,
characters.
and completely different characters.
Yeah.
So which characters are in the 11 to 30 that aren't in the
Samus and Ices.
And those are the ones, yeah.
Kind of makes sense.
I mean, players matter more than the character.
Yeah.
Did you see that part of Summit? That was the funniest fucking part? During reverse mains, they were talking about, like, I wonder if Leffen would be able to win Evo with Yoshi, and Hugo, as a joke, went, well, man, the player matters more than the character, dude. Like, that's it. Like, the player, it all comes down to the player, right? And then Leffen, they had him come out, and they asked, Leffen, do you think you'd be able to win Evo with Yoshi? And he went, win Evo? I don't know. Win a major? Yeah, the player matters more than the character.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
He said, yeah, eventually.
That's really funny.
Also, side note, literally the best Leffen's Yoshi has ever looked this weekend.
Yeah.
It looked so fucking good against Amsa.
Yeah, I think you tweeted that, right?
Yeah, I did. And I was like, this is not meant to be a dig against Leffen's Yoshi.
Yeah.
But Leffen's Yoshi before a lot of the time was like, he hasn't practiced. For some reason, he hit literally everything.
Yeah.
It was super sick. Yeah, but the fucking tier list, no one's debating about the tier list now. It's just debating about characters related to the player, right? Right now, you would have to be insane to say that you would think that Samus or Ices or Sheik is going to win a major solo before Yoshi.
Yeah, and that's a weird statement to say, like, at any point in Melee's history, unless you're looking at, like, right now.
But I feel like there is, like,
I think that's true.
a 0% chance of any of those very close to 0% chance of any of those characters winning a major.
The highest
before
percent
Yoshi.
chance
Unless
is
Amsa just never wins a major.
Yeah, the highest percent chance of one of those characters winning is if Plup decides to
go all Sheik.
Or all Samus.
Yeah, right. And then, actually, it's very possible.
Yeah.
But you can't talk about it like that, because it's Plup.
He won't, yeah.
He won't. Except for
Unless
the one tourney a year, he goes all Samus, right? And then
maybe.
And then maybe, honestly. Have we ever seen Plup Samus versus Axe's Pikachu? What would that even be?
I feel like we have. Right? Well, Duck has beaten Axe.
Right.
So I don't know.
That matchup feels very weird to me. It feels to me like a matchup.
I think it's a fun matchup.
Where I'm
Both
like,
sides.
what the fuck would Pikachu do? And then it's just like, well, Pikachu's sort of a bad character when the matchup's actually happening.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you beat Crouch Cancel?
Right. Yeah, that's Pikachu's biggest weakness.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why Axe is so good in the meta where Crouch Cancel is most developed. Axe wins a major.
That's insane, dude. That's so nuts.
Two ends of the spectrum. Wizzy crouching on the ground. Axe summoning lightning from the sky. Melee is in perfect balance.
In one more tournament, we might have a new #1 player. We haven't had a new #1 player since Hungrybox became the #1 3 years ago. This is the first time in...
It might be Falcon or Pikachu.
It will be Falcon or Pikachu if it's someone new in the next month.
Yeah.
Zain can't get to #1 that fast.
No.
Yeah. Neither can Plup, I don't think, and he would be the only other contender for new #1. That is actually insane to think about. And I mean, the list of other things, like, this was the first time that there was a tournament without one of the original 5 gods.
Yeah, in the top 5 or top 4.
In the top 4 since 2006, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
That feels too early. No, I guess that's when I don't know. In a really long time.
6 or 7.
Yeah, and then first time without a god in grand finals since some other. Those dates are both like it's over 10 years.
It's a long time.
It's a long time. It's a long, long time. Go to Pikachu942's Twitter and Edwin Budding's Twitter to see the dates that we are failing to remember. Also, they would have known exactly when and how many times Wizzy beat him 2K.
Yep, but our podcast is right here.
You know what? They are the analytical podcasters, and we're the feeling podcasters.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's right.
And the fucking feeling player just won a major, so
Let's go.
you. Melee stats.
I think on that note, we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.